This is Kal Kat, the Kal Katster, and it doesn't matter. It's April 29th, and I am going to drink Vernors soda. This was introduced in 1988 or 89 or so, around 88 or 89. Yeah, final season of On Location at Pine Hill. So Vernors was introduced in 88-89, the final season of senior year of high school. But yeah, not to us, but Roger Johnson and some of the other people who are probably giving information about our silly trek to the world and On Location. Yeah, so those guys, they're just Vernors, and it's a ginger soda. And once in a while, they keep bringing it back, and I'm going to try some right now on April 29, 2021. And yeah, so I'm gonna try it right now. It's just cream soda. It's ginger ale, basically, ginger soda. It's I think it's derivative of Coke. This is the 24. Yeah, the patent is 2014 on the back of it. This way. But it's not old. It's not from 2014, and it's not a challenge where it's like an old drink or anything. Now it's opening it. It's a smoky, soapy flavor for some reason. Huh. Yeah, it has a soapy flavor, like tapioca a little bit. This the ginger. Oh. So all powerful. And this one thing it does, it makes your burps powerful. Whatever happened to the burping girl of 2006? Classic YouTuber, original YouTuber. 2007. Whatever happened to her? I don't know. Some lady offered me a card at Safeway and said, "Ma'am, I look like a girl." I suppose I kind of do. I mean, I am pretty sexy, but no. I'm a dude, that's what I said. However, been known to swing the other way. Which wouldn't make me weird. It would make me bi. Oh my! But everyone. And I'm wearing the logo shirt from the cover of the Dark Side of the Meow shirt. Dark Side of the Meow. It's a spoof. Those are cats. Yeah. Mmm. Oh, yeah. Vernors. I know there's no booze in this or anything. It's just a ginger ale. It's different from other ginger ales. It doesn't quite taste like Canada Dry and Schweppes. Schweppes is very woody. Canada Dry is very dry, rather dry, not as sweet. This is quite sweet. It's sugary. It tastes almost more like it's a sarsaparilla in that family than it's very sweet. I can see why Pine Hill students would love to drink it and get really, really hyper. And it's perfect to work on while working on novel versions of On Location. On Location 2 as well. And then noting that some will be disappointed that it's not a tell-all book about horrible scandals at all. There aren't any. Just so you know. Anyway, so we're not really. All that other stuff came after, near the end of Valley Stories. All that other stuff about the COL and all that. That was way later. They do hint at it, but they don't actually ever go there on location 2 or undergrads, but they do explore the awesome things about everything. The flyer, newspaper, and what was cool about Jung Swan back in the day. So, back. It's not going to be bad at all. Original journals. So drink Vernors. Vernors. Come up with a burp here. Almost. It's building up. Oh. Don't want to fake it. Right. I know. Oh. Yeah, there's no booze in this. I like that cowpoke whiskey candy bar from earlier. Cowpoke. Oh yeah, the on location 2 thing does mention at least 1 or 2 different origins for cowpoke. There's a couple of them in there. We'll have to discuss that at Demicon 2. First weekend in May. Around May the 4th. Yeah. May the 4th be with you. Ah, there's the burp. Oh God, that's a good one. Stuff's supposed to kill the good. I think it's making it. I'm just going to drink this whole thing. And I know that it hasn't been sitting in that Safeway since 2014. That would be scary. No. 7 years now. Oh, God. Was this put up at PepsiCo or something? They made it, bought it up. I can't tell if it's the same flavor. Probably not. Than it was originally. Because I know this is a case with Coke and Pepsi. They have changed the recipe over the years. That was the case with Coke. See. I don't think Mountain Dew changed much though, but Coke did. And Crystal Pepsi totally did. The new version did not taste like the original. They just took the syrup out, re-released it. It wasn't really Crystal Pepsi. It just the new version was just different. Yeah, with new Coke, they had the Coke fiasco was that they. Oh boy, the new Coke fiasco was that they wanted to change the formula to be more hip, and then they changed it, and nobody liked the new formula. So they basically then bait and switched and said later on, okay, well, we're bringing Coca-Cola Classic back, right? It wasn't the original formula. It never returned to the original formula. They just took some of the syrups and some of the chemicals out to make it taste more. They should have called it, instead of Coca-Cola Classic, they should have said Coca-Cola Light or something. Just said, oh, this is like the light version, which they later did when they made it something called Diet Coke. But it really was never the same. It was not the original. And if you go back further than that, even when they re-released the name Coke and the classic Coke 10 years ago or so, they didn't really. That wasn't really the same formula either. It was more like Pepsi. It's weird. There was a Cola Wars in the 80s and 90s. It was actually the two Coke and Pepsi brands be fighting each other. They even did like silly advertisements fighting each other. Pepsi was desperate to be hip. So, back in the day, they put Michael Jackson as one of their frontmen on there, because he was big back then, and immediately set his hair on fire during this. Which is the real reason he was kind of messed up looking. Not because of the skin disease thing. The skin condition. Because he burned half of his skull. Gnarly. But then he also had the skin condition. Yeah, yeah, it was gnarly. Dude, the thing just exploded. It was like, John Waters spoofed it in his movie Cecil B. Demented. He set the actress's hair. Well, they faked it. They set her hair on fire. It was obviously like a fake wig, and they had to do it as a prop because they couldn't really set somebody's hair on fire. Because yeah, you burn hair, it burns too quick. It'd be like instantly like ah. They can't do it. Had to be a beehive. This is what it was in the movie. So yeah, Pepsi. And Coke tried desperately with all kinds of logos, like similar to Nike. Just do it and stuff. Yeah. Kind of like McDonald's did too. That's different. That's McDonald's. Well, there's so many weird advertising things back then, but yeah. Coke's formula and everything. Anyway, so we have Vernors here, which is a little different than I remember it from the 80s, and then again in the 2000s. In the 90s and 2000s. It's a little different. It's a little sweeter than I remember. Authentic, bold taste. The can is very similar to the 80s can. I think the 80s can actually had more of a green than a barrel look to it. More of a green, just green. Yeah. Well, there's a lot of sugar in this. Yeah. Oh well. Oh, it's a little less burn than this time of the year. Coca-Cola. Actually, when Coca-Cola was introduced way back in the day, it was Cocaine Cola, true story. And they shortened it. They realized, no, putting cocaine in a soft drink is probably not a good idea. Just even in the 30s when they did that. Probably not a good idea. Not because it was getting people high, but because it was fucking up their teeth. And dental hygiene was not that great back then. Cocaine and cola. Pepsi just comes from Peps. It's not anything. Yeah. It's not anything. Yeah. I think they've kind of dumbed down the cola wars because most of the other brands on the shelves are owned by Coca-Cola Co. or PepsiCo. So, yeah. There's no more. Wow. Yeah. I'm making you suffer through this. On location drink. Not really. No brand endorsement. We're not getting sponsored. But this isn't a sponsor. Pepsi, Vernors. Often YouTubers in the early days would joke about that. And we were around. 2007 was one of our first channels. So that's the one with the most videos. The 2007 one. Weird Kitty 07. Yeah. Before that, there was a slightly earlier one. That was the KTS channel. And then it was On Location Cats channel was the third one. And that was 2011. And then they sort of switched back and forth. But Weird Kitty 07, yeah. Originally it was part of SAP Productions. SAP 1 Productions. No relation to the other one. Yeah, no relation to the other one. Not the Sports Authority Productions. The one that made the SAP Center. Which I think has another name now. But it was called the SAP Center for a while. I think it might be Monster Center or something else now. But yeah, it was not related to them. they would be rich if it was related to that. No, it's the other. That's the other company. Not relation. Oh, the SAP Center. Oh, no, not the same people. Coincidence? Interesting one. Also on location, briefly the name of a computer company in accidentally in the early 90s, the 89, 90 or so. And then there was this odd mention of like IBM and Apple merging. I don't think they did. I think IBM just stopped making PCs, and then other companies did. This then little-known company called Microsoft up there in Washington snuck in and said, "We'll do it." Maybe you've heard of them. Microsoft Computer. Yeah. Also, they had a lot of like crossover things like back then. You had to, in order to get something off of an old Apple, you had to get an Apple that was another Apple, which you had to do during San Jose State to get all our old on location off of it and other stuff. There was thousands of pages. And once you could convert it from the 5 1/4 floppy disks to the 3 1/4 floppy disks, then you could transfer them to high def, and then move them off that onto a Power Mac. So you'd have to have something in between. So we had a San Jose State. We'll probably talk about that later. But somebody had a GS there, and we got a hold of it, copied them, and then we transferred it from GS to Power Mac, Martha's Power Mac. And then from Power Mac, we transferred it to PC, Sony Vaio PC, back in the day. And then 2 other versions of PC. And yeah, there were some interesting errors and discrepancies. But we managed to get it. The 92 transfers, the 94 and 97 transfers, and then the late 98 and 2000 ones, in which they had the ability to do that with Windows 95. You could transfer it. Well, you go to the Fry's Electronics, and you can get a conversion program called Mac to Apple Convert, Apple Mac and Mac Convert and PC Convert, and you could convert the files from Apple Works, or what became Works in Word. What became Microsoft Word is a spin-off of Works from their version of it, basically. So everybody uses Microsoft Word now, but it was part of Apple Works. And Fry's Electronics used to be Fry's Foods around here, and now it's gone. But when it was Fry's Electronics, Fry's Foods used to have a little food store near a high school in Pine Hill. They used to, and they wanted to compete with Circuit City, Radio Shack, which were big back then. So this other wholesaler warehouse group called MacDuff Electronics. Nobody undersells MacDuff. I still remember it. They said, "Hey, Fry's Foods, if you want to go into the computer market too, why don't you just merge with us, and then we'll become Fry's Electronics." Awesome. So for many years, for decades, they were Fry's Electronics. Their origins were MacDuff. A little better title than MacDuff, I think. Nobody undersells MacDuff. For a while, nobody undersold Fry's. I'm done. Oh, God, that's disgusting. Yes. Vernors. Vernors, the soda of hyper teenagers. In the 80s.